Hey guys, it's H-harnessHobo here. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about things to think about and consider when getting your first airsoft gun. So first, I'm going to specify this is mostly talking about AEGs, airsoft electric guns. So those guns that run off of, well, replicas, airsoft guns, I'm going to be interchanging the terms, that run on batteries, whether that be LiPo batteries or NIM batteries. I might do a video on the difference between NIM and LiPos in the future maybe. All you need to know for now is NIMs are older and less fast shooting, right? You don't have nearly as much performance with NIMs. But LiPos can explode. I'm just gonna say, if you don't take care of them correctly, they can be dangerous. But it's more complicated than that. LiPos are better performance-wise. I like NIMs because, I don't like things catching on fire. But you should use LiPos anyway, though. That's really just personal preference. I just happen to like NIMs, though I do use LiPos. It doesn't really matter. Go find a different video on batteries, on the difference between batteries. There's a lot of better videos on that that know more about it than me. So don't, just ignore, whatever. So, first talking about why get an AEG. So, if you may know, there are other kinds. There is gas airsoft guns, gas blowback rifles, and non-blowback rifles. I don't have any experience with gas blowback or non-blowback rifles. Now, I do have experience with this gas blowback pistols. I have this gas blowback pistol, which I do like, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to be talking about AEG rifles, electric rifles, because they are the cheapest and most effective way to get into the game. They're pretty easy to work on and to fix and to change parts out of, so that's also real nice. So let's just talk about different kinds of AEGs, right? So there's there's rifles, there's SMGs, and there are DMRs, and there's more than that. There's squad automatic weapons and more in-depth, but just for the sake of simplicity, let's just start with rifles, SMGs, and DMRs. So, the first airsoft gun I ever got, I can show you, was this. A SEMA M14, or an M1A. It's just an M14 variant, more modern, the SOCOM 16. It's a cool rifle, it's awesome, but it's a lot. And especially for being someone who doesn't just want to sit around and pick people off from long range, it can be a little much. It's a great rifle, especially if you want to be a marksman, a DMR, right? If you want to be a designated marksman, works great. And I do recommend these. I'll leave a link to this DMR. A great DMR to start with, only around $150, $160. Which is pretty good. Solid performance, nice rifles. But if you're not into DMRs, there are always rifles. Now, I personally recommend a rifle to start with, and more in depth, either a M4 or AR-15 variant, or an AK. So for an AR-15, I have this. Just a standard kind of AR-15-ish M4, just whatever. This is a really nice. This gun was only $150. I got it on sale for $125, but it retails for about $150 on Evike. I'll leave a link. This is the Specna Arms Core Series. Great beginner guns. They shoot well. They run well. They just look nice. I have this one camouflaged as well. I did a camo job, so it looks a little more, and I also taped down that just to give it a little bit more of a retro look. And I actually do plan on making this rifle into a Car 15 eventually, because I really like that. But no, if you're going to get an AR, I recommend these or the Matrix series. There's a good Matrix series. I'll try and leave a link to that as well in the description. Both great starter M4s or AR-15s. Great guns. And reasons to go with an AR-15 or an M4, they are the most popular airsoft gun, at least here in the US. I can't speak to anywhere in Europe or anywhere else, but here in the US, the AR-15 or the M4 is the most popular. There's the most amount of pieces and mags and just compatibility with everything else. They're easy to work on and take apart. They're real great. And chances are, if you're playing with a bunch of other people and you run out of ammo, they're probably going to have an extra mag for you. Just slide it in there, and boom, you're ready to go. Only downsides, if you're bored of seeing these and don't want to be like everybody else, well then, hey, if you want to be special, then don't get one of these. Get something weird like a Galil, right? You want to get something funny, something wacky. But these work well. These honestly work well. I like them. I don't mind. I like to mod this one more out. I have more pieces to mod it out. I'll do a video on good mods and stuff to do to rifles to make them a little more fun. But this is a great starter rifle, and I do highly recommend M4s or AR-15s, the cheaper ones under $160 for beginners. Before I move on to the next AR I'd like to talk about, I do want to talk about price a little bit. Now, I recommend for getting your first or one of your first starter guns, I recommend you keep it under $200. Now, the reason for that is there's a lot of great guns under $200. That rifle I got for $125, the AR-15, it's $150, but it works well. It works great. It just runs. You don't have to spend a bunch of money and get some super high performance airsoft gun, especially if it's one of your first. You really don't need to do that. You really don't need to. You can get a perfectly good gun for cheap. I got an AK that I love, a SEMA AK. It's like the AK Spetsnaz Beta, whatever, for like $80, and it was awesome. Now it is in pieces, and I kind of cyborged it into another gun, but that, so I can't show that gun. But I did have it in one of my first videos. If you want to see that gun, you can go watch that one to see that gun. And I'm just going to tell you right now, great gun. Highly recommend it. It's only $80 on Evike. I'll leave a link to that one as well. Great gun. So price, I'd say look for guns around the you'd be safe around the 150 and 160 marks, right? That's pretty good. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to spend a bunch of money to get a super amazing gun. You really don't need to. There are a lot of great guns out there that aren't super expensive. Now, I will talk about the AK. This right here is my baby. I love this AK. Now, granted, this is a like $350 body, but it has a cheap gearbox in it because the gearbox that came in it, because I got this used, does not work. I need to fix it, or it might just be fucked. I'm not even gonna lie. I think it might be fucked, and I might need to just forget about it. But for now, it has a cheaper gearbox in it, but it still works well. And AKs are awesome. I love AKs. I also highly recommend any of the SEMA AKs. All of the SEMA AKs are pretty awesome. I've only used one SEMA AK, but it was the cheapest one, and it was insanely amazing. It's insanely amazing. You want to make sure you get one with a full metal gearbox, though. But all the cheap ones have the same, I'm pretty sure the same version 3 full metal gearbox, and it works great. That's what I have in this, the base SEMA gearbox, and it runs like a champ. It is amazing. I love AKs. I love to see more people running AKs, especially if you do more of the militia kit like I am doing. Having an AK is great. It works really well. You can do a 74 or a 47. You can do a U. You can do a crank. You can do any of the 100 series. They all look awesome. AKs are great and they're pretty cheap. I'll leave a link to a few AKs off of Evike in the description that are good ones, including the smaller one I got. But AKs are awesome, and I think it'd be awesome to see more of them. So, overall, if you're going to get your first rifle, I recommend a rifle, not a DMR or an SMG. Now, I don't have any SMGs to talk about, but there are good SMGs out there, like the the MP5. I don't remember who it's made by. The H&K, the H&K MP5. The Elite Force, yeah, the Elite Force. Most of all of the Elite Force guns under $200 and above like 110 are good as well. There's a decent amount of those. Those are all pretty good. And the most important thing to remember when you're getting your first airsoft gun is what looks cool to you. It doesn't matter, and in the end of the day, get whatever you want, right? If you just so happen to like the G3, get a G3. If you like FALs, if you want to spend $400 on an FAL, hey, that's you, right? You know, if you have the budget to get whatever you want, then go for it. But I know that I don't, and a lot of other people don't have the budget to get super awesome guns, so you want to stick to the lower end stuff, but it doesn't really matter, right? If you see an airsoft gun and you think it looks cool and it has good reviews, get it, right? If there's a rifle, you don't have to get an M4 or an AK, right? A base M4 or a base AK. They're all awesome. You can really just get whatever one you want. Oh, and I forgot, shotguns. Tri-shot shotguns. This one was like $45 and it's awesome. For being $45, it's solid, it's full size, it shoots 3 at once. Is it loaded? I don't think it is. Let's find out. No, it was. Cool. Is there even a shell here? There isn't. Alright, it just had some babies left over. That's fucking fun. Alright, yeah, shotguns. Shotguns are awesome. They're really fun. They may not be the most effective, especially if you're going up against people with electric guns, but they're still really awesome, and I highly recommend getting one no matter how many guns or if you're a starter or not. Shotguns are always fun to have, and they don't take batteries or gas if you get a spring power one. They're real fun. So yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk a little bit about, you know, what I think you should do when you're getting a new gun, what to think about. You know, just get whatever makes you happy, right? If you see a gun that you think is cool, get that one. But I do recommend staying towards M4s or AKs, really, because they are just the most popular and easy to find pieces and people to work on them, and magazines and modifications. So that's always the thing to consider. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.